Hey you guys, what's up? This is Gabs. I'm back and I know I have not made a video in a long time, which is why I'm here to make a video today. I realized that the last video I made just about my experience living in Detroit and talking about the livability of the city, people were interested and people had some questions and they really wanted me to talk more about my experience living in Detroit. So I am here to do just that. I screenshotted some comments from that video on my phone, so if you see me looking down, I'm just trying to read those comments, and I wanted to answer some of the questions. I wanted to comment on some of the comments that were posted on that video, so let's just dive right in. So someone said, I'm moving to Detroit at the beginning of October to start a new career with my job. I'm looking for a great loft or apartment downtown. Do you have any suggestions? So yes, there are many options for apartments downtown. There are more being built up every day. There is a whole set of new condominiums, apartments, and lofts that are being built up around the riverfront area near downtown. So that's definitely a place you will want to check out. Prices are a bit on the higher end, but you know, if you're balling like that, that may be a good option for you. But also Detroit City Apartments downtown, new Cadillac Square Apartments downtown, which is a hidden gem in my opinion, because you can basically get a studio 1-bedroom apartment in the middle of downtown Detroit for like $800-900. I feel like that's a great bang for your buck. And if you're someone who's, you know, just trying to get your feet wet in the city, you don't really got your finances up like that. I have a friend who lives there and her apartment is not that bad. It's not as fancy as some of the other apartments that you're gonna get downtown, but for the price, it's awesome in my opinion. And if you want to go a little more fancy, you have the Albert downtown, which is what I think 1-bedrooms are like $1,300-1,400. And if you want to explore a little bit east of downtown, you have the whole Lafayette Park area that has a bunch of great apartments and condos for sale. And it's also a really like cool community because it's more residential, which downtown, of course, it's in the business district, so it may not be as residential. But if you're open to exploring a little bit east, you could find the best of both worlds. A apartment or condo that's really close to downtown, but also somewhere where you can get to know your neighbors and experience that residential life. The next comment says, I'm not hating and I'm not trying to make a point, but I'd like to know where your revenue comes from to travel. Me talking about living in Detroit is a video where I'm discussing just one of the places that I've lived. If you've looked at the past videos I've made, I have videos about living in Korea, I have videos about living in Spain, living in Chicago. This is just something that's very interesting. I enjoy sharing that experience with other people. But anyways, I wanted to touch on this question. The reason I'm able to afford travel is because, you know, I really put in work. Everywhere that I've discussed me living, I was able to get that opportunity because of a job that presented itself. So when I was in Korea, I was, you know, working 40 to 50 hours a week as an English teacher for the government. You know, I was getting a standard regular paycheck, and that's also why I was able to visit, you know, all those awesome countries around Asia as well. So yeah, working hard. Once again, in Spain, when I was there, I was an au pair for a family, which basically meant I was a babysitter / English teacher, and I got paid for that. I got housing for that. Next question, are you still in the social work field or are you doing something different? So I have quite a few videos that I've made in the past about being a social work, my experience. So I understand where this question came from. I am still doing social work actually. Right now I'm doing philanthropy work in a corporation, and I feel like that's a very interesting job for a social worker. I don't work alongside any other social workers, so I really want to make it clear that you don't have to put yourself in a box. If you get an MSW degree or a BSW degree, you can really utilize that degree in whatever way you see fit for yourself, whatever way is comfortable for yourself. You don't have to only work in a nonprofit or only work for the government. You can really do what you want with it, and you shouldn't let your degree limit you. Like I said, I'm doing what I like to look at as macro social work, working in corporate philanthropy, and I think it's really interesting, it's really cool, and it adds a unique experience to my resume. Someone commented, Detroit is the best place to live, man. They got houses for sale for $1. I wanted to touch on this because this is a big misconception that people who are interested in living in Detroit believe. They think they can come here, buy a big house for $1, $100, $1,000, and that house just be move-in ready. You can move in your wife, your kids, and your dog, and that is just not the case. These homes need a lot of tender love and care, and you're going to probably end up putting $50,000 to $60,000 of rehab in this home, if not more. So when you're buying these structures, it's best to look at them as a structure as opposed to a full home. You're going to have to put a lot of money, love, and care into that home before it can be, something that you will feel comfortable living in. But at the same time, it could be a really great investment because the property value in Detroit is increasing. And another comment that I have is from someone who asked, may I ask why you chose to leave Chicago? And someone else said, why did you move to Detroit? Detroit is not like Chicago. So when I lived in Chicago, it was never somewhere that, I planned on living for long term or for the rest of my life. It was always just somewhere where I would go to graduate school. So that's what brought me to Chicago. I lived there for 2 years while getting my MSW degree. And after living in Chicago, I moved to Korea. As many of you know, I worked there for almost 2 years. And then as I was looking to come back to the US, I searched for different job opportunities, and I just so happened to find the perfect opportunity in Detroit as opposed to in Chicago. So that's why I didn't go back to Chicago. I still visit a lot, so if anyone's interested in me making a video the next time I visit, just let me know because that's something I can definitely do. I still look at Chicago as, one of my favorite cities, but Detroit is my home now. And someone said, Detroit is a horrible place to live. Too much crime. So many killings, no value on life. I'm so grateful to God I don't live there and pray for the people who have to live in Detroit. Sorry, position change. I was having some battery issues. But anyways, to touch on that comment, I think that comment or those type of comments in general are usually left by people who don't really have that much experience living in Detroit or visiting Detroit in general. I think these people maybe have driven through the city 5 years ago and, they went through a neighborhood where it was a lot of vacancy, a lot of blight, and then that kind of painted their overall picture of what the city is about. And, maybe they listened to the news and they heard a lot of bad things about the city. But from my experience, people who make those type of comments don't really have much validity. And I would hope that it does not negatively impact other people's opinions of the city when they see these type of comments on videos, when they hear these type of things word of mouth. And all I have to say is just come to Detroit and experience it for yourself and make your own opinion. I was having a discussion with one of my friend's friends, like a friend of a friend, about my experience living in Detroit, and he was like, oh yeah, I heard all these bad things. I heard that you can't even stop at a stop sign without somebody, getting your car hijacked. And he was just painting this horrible picture, and it seemed like he was trying to make me feel scared or tell me, oh, be careful living there because this is what I've heard. And I'm just like, but I've lived there for several months now and I have never experienced that. I don't know anyone who's experienced that. So it was just interesting hearing someone speak with so much conviction about what the city was all about. And I asked this person, I'm like, have you ever been to Detroit? And he was like, nope, I've never been. And that really just opened my eyes to how certain negative views get passed on about a city or about a particular group of people. I think a lot of the time when people do have negative views about Detroit or talk down about it, it's based on the fact that the city is majority African American and sometimes there is some racism that's kind of tied into their comments. Let me know if you guys enjoy these type of videos. Please comment below and give me some advice on topics related to Detroit that you'd like me to speak on in the future. And I hope you guys are doing well and having a good start to your spring. I just wanted to update you guys, tell you what was up, let you know that I'm still here, I'm still interested in YouTube. I just was super busy, but I'm back and I hope to make videos more regularly. And I also have a video coming up soon just about my hair and what's going on with that. I mean, surprise, I have, or at least I'm cultivating locks now. So that was a hairstyle that I didn't have in my previous videos. So I should definitely kind of speak about the elephant in the room. So a video about that's coming up soon. Me starting locks in Detroit and just, you know, my experience with that. Stay tuned for more and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.